You know, I was thinking about something the other day. We live in this golden age of content, right? Everyone is a creator. But have you noticed how incredibly fragile that actually feels?
Fragile? In what way? Like, emotionally fragile? Because the comment sections are definitely a war zone.
Well, that too. But I mean structurally. You spend years building an audience on the big platforms. We won't name them, but you know the ones, and you're essentially building a mansion on rented land. One algorithm change, one policy update, or you forget to upload for a week, and poof, you're invisible.
Ah, the sharecropping problem. You're working the land, but the landlord takes the harvest and can kick you out whenever they feel like it.
Exactly. So, the dream has always been, I want to own the platform. I want to be my own HBO, my own Netflix. But then you look at the technical barrier to doing that, and well, it's a nightmare. You need servers, coding skills, payment gateways, thousands of dollars a month just to keep the lights on.
Or at least, that used to be the case.
Right. And that's what I want to dig into today. I saw this new thing, it's called Free Tier by Superview, and honestly, when I first read the pitch, I thought it was a typo.
It does sound a bit too good to be true, doesn't it? The idea that you can launch a fully functional streaming platform without opening your wallet.
What if starting your own streaming platform didn't require funding? That's the hook. And usually, when I hear free, I immediately clutch my wallet, because I know the upsell is coming. I know it's going to be a 14-day trial, or free until you get your first 10 viewers.
That's the industry standard bait and switch. But this is different. We're talking about a fundamental shift in the business model of creator tools. This free tier isn't a trial. It's not a demo. It's actually free. Forever. No credit card required.
That's the part that blew my mind. No credit card. Usually, they want the card so they can charge you the second you forget to cancel.
Exactly. And that psychological safety is huge. Think about it. If you have a creative idea, maybe a niche channel about, I don't know, restoring vintage typewriters, or indie filmmaking.
Or competitive dog grooming.
Sure, competitive dog grooming. If you have to pay $50 or $100 a month just to test if anyone wants to watch that, you probably won't do it. The risk is too high. But if the cost is zero, suddenly, the barrier to innovation vanishes. You can just try.
So, let's walk through what you actually get, because free often means bare bones or ugly. Is this just a generic page with a video player?
Not at all. And this is where it gets interesting. You're essentially getting the keys to build a professional media brand. We aren't talking about a messy feed of videos, like on social media. You're building structured content libraries.
Like playlists and seasons?
Precisely. You control the layout. You can curate playlists, organize videos into categories, and present a brand that looks like a legitimate network from day one. It's the difference between a pile of clothes on the floor and a curated boutique.
That organization piece is so underrated. On the big social platforms, your old content goes to die. It's buried under the new stuff. But if you have your own platform, your archive becomes an asset. You can guide the viewer through a journey.
That's the power of curation. You aren't fighting for attention against a sidebar of cat videos. Once they are on your URL, they are in your world. And it's not just pre-recorded stuff either. They've integrated live streaming directly into the dashboard.
Okay, pause there. Live streaming is notoriously a headache. You usually need third-party encoders, stream keys, maybe a degree in computer engineering if something goes wrong.
Right? It's usually a mess of cables and software. But here, the premise is go live. No complex setups. No third-party tools required. You press a button, and you are broadcasting to your audience.
And engaging with them, I assume?
Yeah, real-time chat is built in. And what I love is the unified engagement aspect. Whether you're live or they're watching a replay. The community feel is centralized. It's one chat system. You aren't managing a Discord over here, a YouTube comment section over there, and a Twitch chat somewhere else. It's all under one roof.
That sounds incredibly efficient, but I have to play devil's advocate here. We're talking about building a business, right? An empire, as they say. Exposure is great, but exposure doesn't pay the rent. How do creators actually monetize this if the platform is free?
This is the killer feature, in my opinion. It's the integration of commerce. Usually, if you want to sell merch or a digital download, you have to say, link in bio, or check the description, and send your viewer away from your video to a store.
And you lose half of them in the click.
Exactly. Friction kills sales. But with this free tier, the e-commerce is built in. You can have your product pages sliding in right next to the video content.
So, I'm teaching a cooking class live, and I can have the spatula I'm using available for purchase right on the same screen?
Boom. Content and commerce. Unified. You turn viewers into customers without them ever leaving the experience. You can sell physical merch, digital downloads, courses, whatever fits your brand. Your streaming platform essentially becomes your storefront.
That is a massive shift. It turns a creator into a retailer almost instantly.
It turns them into a business. That's the distinction. You aren't just an entertainer anymore. You're an entrepreneur. And you have the dashboard to back it up. They give you analytics to track views, manage uploads, monitor sales, all from one place.
It sounds like they've really stripped away the excuses. You know, I feel like for years people have said, I'd love to start my own thing, but I don't have the tech, or I don't have the budget.
It's the democratization of media infrastructure. That's the fancy way to put it. But really, it's about removing the gatekeepers. You don't need a venture capitalist to fund your startup. You don't need permission from a network executive. You don't even need a credit card.
It's kind of philosophical when you think about it.
Oh, absolutely.
No, really. Think about the history of media. It's always been about scarcity. There were only a few TV channels because bandwidth was scarce. Then there were only a few big streaming sites because server costs were high. Now, the cost of entry is zero.
Which means the only variable left is talent and creativity.
Right. If the tech is free and the distribution is free, then the only reason you don't have a channel is, well, you.
That's a scary thought, isn't it? It removes the safety blanket of, the system is against me. The tools are there. The free tier is there. The question shifts from, can I do this? To, what do I have to say?
And how hard am I willing to work to build it?
Exactly. It's empowering, but it's also a challenge. It's saying, here is the machinery to build an empire. Here are the bricks and the mortar, free of charge. Now, are you going to build a shack or are you going to build a castle?
I love that. It's like the ultimate level playing field. And I think for a lot of people listening, especially those who have been hesitant to start because they didn't want to invest money up front, this changes the calculus completely.
It really does. And think about the niche communities that are going to pop up. Things that aren't viral enough for the big algorithms, but are deeply meaningful to a small group of people.
Like the competitive dog grooming.
I knew you were going to bring that back. But yes, if you have 500 people who love that topic, you can build a dedicated, monetized home for them. You don't need 1 million subscribers to make it work because you own the customer relationship. You sell the grooming kits directly. You own the data.
That is the key. Ownership. We talk about Web3 and all these complex future techs, but sometimes the revolution is just making the current tech accessible to everyone.
Accessibility is the revolution. When you take down the paywall for the creator, you allow for a diversity of voices that simply couldn't afford to play the game before.
So, if someone is listening to this and their brain is buzzing with ideas, maybe they have a podcast they want to film, or they are an educator or an artist, what is the actual first step? Is it complicated to sign up.
That's the beauty of it. It's not. You go to the site free, superviewtv.co.za, and you just start. No long forms, no contact sales for a demo. You just launch.
It's almost startling how simple that is. We're so used to bureaucracy.
We are. We're conditioned to believe that building something of value requires jumping through hoops. But the digital world is finally catching up to the promise of the internet. The internet was supposed to be the great equalizer. Tools like this are finally making that true.
It reminds me of that scene in the promo. The black screen, the light rising. What if you could launch today? It's a powerful question.
It is. And the answer is usually fear. Fear of failure. Fear of cost. They've removed the cost. So now you just have to deal with the fear.
And frankly, if the cost is zero, failure isn't really failure anymore, is it? It's just an experiment.
Exactly. It's iteration. You try one channel idea. If it doesn't stick, you tweak it. You change the playlist. You try a different live stream time. You haven't lost your life savings. You've just learned.
That agility is what makes a modern media company survive. You have to be able to pivot. And you can't pivot if you're weighed down by heavy overheads.
Lean is mean. In a good way.
Laughs lean is mean. I like that. So, we've got the channel building, the live streaming, the e-commerce, the analytics, the chat. It's a full stack.
A full stack in a box. Or, I guess, in a browser window.
It makes me wonder what the landscape is going to look like in 5 years. If everyone has their own Netflix, does that fragment the audience too much?
I don't think so. I think it creates deeper connections. We're moving away from the era of broadcast, one signal to millions of people, to the era of narrowcast. Highly specific, highly valuable content for specific people. And those people are willing to pay for merch and support the creator because they feel seen.
That's a really optimistic view. I hope you're right. I'm tired of the algorithm feeding me things it thinks I want. I want to go to a destination that I know I love.
And as a creator, you want to build that destination. You want to be the host, not just the guest on someone else's platform.
Well, I think that's the perfect place to wrap this up. We've gone from skepticism to philosophy in 10 minutes.
That's how we roll.
But seriously, if you are sitting on an idea, or if you're tired of the rented land of social media, it sounds like the excuses have officially run out. The gate is open.
No barriers, no excuses, just opportunity.
Nicely put. So, go check it out. Build something. Start your empire. And hey, if you launch that dog grooming channel, send me the link. I'm genuinely interested now.
I'll be your first subscriber.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Go create something. We'll catch you in the next one.
See you then. Can't wait to see what you guys will create on superviewtv.co.za.